Hello and welcome back to Acorn Hobbies. This is the last Twilight of the Republic Set 3 reviews. I'm Camden and I'm so glad that you are here. If you are interested in seeing any of the other videos in this series, you can check out the playlist up here or in the description down below. It is the perfect place to check out all of my opinions on the Set 3 cards here for SWU. I think this is a really, really exciting set. I think it's going to be awesome. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. We are looking at the Villainy, Heroism, and Neutral cards today. So, this is going to be really, really fun. I think we've got some strong options here for the first time in the sets. Like, I truly think that there's some really, really, really strong Villainy and Heroism and Neutral cards. So, let's take a look at them. First one is a Droid Starfighter, 1 cost, 1/2 space unit with Saboteur. It's not good, but maybe you find a way to swarm this and it's a little bit better. But I just think that it's kind of more of a thematic thing than it is anything else. Battle Droid Escort, 3 cost, 1/1, Separatist Droid, Trooper, Ground Unit, when played, when defeated, create a Battle Droid token. I think this card is actually pretty good. Rarely ever do I want a 3 cost, 1/1, but what I do want is a 3 cost, 1/1 that makes another 1/1, and then I can exploit both of those and still have another 1/1 on the board. I think this is just a strong card to help enable exploit. It's there in the starter deck, and I can totally see this card seeing some play. Super Battle Droid is a 3 cost, 4/3 Separatist Droid Trooper. Villains just needed a 3 cost, 4/3 unit, I think. The Villainy 3 cost, 4/3 units list is pretty low, if any. So this one's just straight up in Villainy. It's fine. It's not going to be the best thing in the world, but with Grievous, you can turn it into an Echo-based defender, which is pretty solid. So, Dwar Droid, 4 cost, 3/4 Separatist Droid, ground unit with Grit. I wish this was a 3/5. 3/4 is just so tough to actually use, but Grit feels like it's worth it. I can totally see this in, maybe even in Grand Inquisitor, but there's 1,001 units in Grand Inquisitor now, so I don't know. It's probably not that great. The only real option I think that maybe could use this is Grievous, but even then there's better options. There's also a lot of spider droids in that art. Like, that feels really scary for how many spider droids there are. It's just 3/4 with Grit. I guess each individual one is 3/4 with Grit, so I don't know. Patrolling AAT is a 5 cost, 4/5 Sentinel Separatist Vehicle Tank. I like this card. It's just a generic Sentinel, which is fine. I think that with Dooku, it becomes a 3 cost, 4/5 Sentinel, and that I like a lot more. So I'm a fan. I think this card will see some play. It's worth looking at just for the sake of being a Separatist card and being a 4/5 with Sentinel. That's pretty solid stats. So I'm a fan. Hailfire Tank, 8 cost, 7/6 with Exploit 2, Separatist Droid Vehicle Tank. There are better exploit cards that I care about a lot more. This is just the generic one that, displays what exploit does and how powerful it can be. I don't think it's actually worth it, though. Maybe when we get a Tank Matters deck, then I'll care. The Invisible Hand. This is an imposing flagship. 8 cost, 4/7 space unit. It's a Separatist Vehicle capital ship. And when played, create 4 Battle Droid tokens. On attack, you can exhaust any number of friendly Separatist units, and you deal 1 damage to the defending player's base for each unit exhausted this way. I love the design of this card. It is both a finisher for a wide, Separatist aggro deck, which of course it's probably a little bit too late for that, but it also can completely recoup its cost by creating 4 Battle Droid tokens. That's really strong. Exploit is going to really love that. Does this see play? I don't know. Probably in Grievous, or not in Grievous, in Dooku, because you're able to turn this into a 6 cost unit, but I just don't see it otherwise. It's definitely right there on the verge of being good, though, so maybe it just ends up generically being good because going wide ends up generically being good. Who knows? We'll find out. Battle Droid Legion, 9 cost, 6/5. Separatist Droid Trooper with Exploit 2, and when defeated, create 3 Battle Droid tokens. This card just keeps your engine going. I really don't like it for 9 cost or 7 cost, but for 5, I can see it. You're getting a 6/5, and then you're creating 3 Battle Droid tokens. I do tend to prefer a 5 cost or higher unit to have a bigger effect on the board, but maybe just the fact that you're able to get this out and say, I've got a ton of droids, there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe that's worth it. You are not going to get rid of all these droids because you're going to need multiple waves of effects. So maybe you clear this and then you do a board wipe, but like even then you've sunk a lot of resources into that. So it's really difficult to deal with. It's a very sticky unit. For that reason, it might see some play. It's a bomb in limited though. Grievous's wheel bike is a 4 cost +3/+3 upgrade, and while you play this on General Grievous, it costs 2 less to play. You can attach it to a non-vehicle unit, and the attached unit gains Overwhelm. This is awesome on Grievous unit or a leader. Obviously, it's best on Grievous leader because then you still have 4 resources left over, and suddenly Grievous leader is a 7/11. That's pretty cool. 7/11 with Overwhelm is really, really strong, and for 2 cost, that's really great. I think this upgrade is going to see some play, if only because it is just so many stats and a good keyword on a leader that I think has some relevance in the meta. Droid Deployment is a 2 cost event. It's a supply event that says create 2 Battle Droid tokens. This card is going to be in every single deck. Okay, maybe not every single deck. I lied. Not every single deck. But it's going to be in every single deck that cares about droids. I think it's good enough to be in the exploit decks. I think it's good enough to be in the actual aggro decks. I also admittedly wonder what the art is. I know what the art is, the MTT with the droid carrier, but I don't get what that third droid on the right is doing. I guess that's its antennas, and it's got its head. It's deploying, maybe it's fully deploying, but it just looks really weird. It looks like there's an extra gun, but who knows? I don't know. They didn't ask me. Strong card though. I think this is going to be all over the place. Mercus Contest, 3 cost villainy event. Each player chooses a non-leader unit they control. Defeat those units. Strong. I mean, this is not as big of a downside as people think. Being able to defeat your battle droid and then, defeat the only unit on your opponent's side is pretty good. But I also think the Power of the Dark Side is going to go down in stock because it's going to be a wider meta. Merciless Contest is the same thing. Against an exploit deck, I kind of like it because you're actually going to be able to take down whatever they've just gotten rid of their other units for. But it's a common in villainy. It's probably going to end up in a deck at some point. Execute Order 66 is a thematic card. 4 costs, plan, event. Deal 6 damage to each Jedi unit. For each unit defeated this way, its controller creates a Clone Trooper token. Pretty awesome card. I don't think it's going to see any play, but I think that, it could be pretty good. The big difference with this and other, deal a bunch of damage things is that 6 damage is a ton, especially for a 4 cost event. It's just so limited, and you're giving your opponent a Clone Trooper token, which just doesn't feel great to give them those. So it's a thematic card. It's got fine art, but I don't love it. I don't think it'll end up in any decks. Here we are in the Heroism units. This is a 3/32 Stalwart. 1 cost, 1/2 Republic Clone Trooper. Coordinate this unit gets +1/+1. Not a good card. It's fine to get to round out your curve on, any given turn or maybe off of a U-wing, but it's probably not that great. I don't really see it seeing any play. Phase 1 Clone Trooper, 2 cost, 3/2 Republic Clone Trooper Heroism unit. It's generic. There was a time where people were playing Viper Probe Droid just because it was a 3/2. This is the same way. So I think this card probably will end up in a deck, honestly. I think that someone will care about clones that much that it actually ends up in a deck. Phase 2 Clone Trooper is a 3 cost 3/2 with Ambush. Probably could end up in a deck too. If I'm playing yellow, I'd rather just run Cloud Rider most of the time, but if I'm not playing yellow, this is fine. 3 cost, deal 3 to a ground unit is fine enough in terms of cost. So I think this is probably a fine card. Republic Commando, 3 cost, 2/5, Coordinate Saboteur. Everything about this is just disappointing. Republic Commandos are awesome, and this is not an awesome card. This is very bland. If it had I wish that it had Raid 1 and then Coordinate Saboteur. Then I'd actually care. But it doesn't, so therefore it's bad. 82 Light Interceptor, 5 cost, 3/4 Republic Vehicle Fighter with Restore 2 in space. The whatever it's called, the Regional Insurgents or whatever it is, the 4 cost ground unit that's exactly the same, doesn't see play, but it's really strong in limited. This is the same way. Probably strong in limited, not going to see any constructed play. Armored Saber Tank, 6 cost, 5/5 Sentinel. It's not worth the extra 1 to get +1 power as opposed to like the villainy one. Obviously, you can't play both of those unless you're Palpatine, but I just don't think it's really worth it. You're also not getting the like cost reduction effects that Exploit can give from Dooku, and there's no like Republic leader that like reduces cost. So I don't think this is a very good card. Tranquility, 7 cost, Inspiring Flagship, 7 cost, 7/6 Republic Vehicle Capital Ship. When played, you may return a Republic unit from your discard pile to your hand, and on attack, each of the next 3 Republic cards you play this phase costs 1 less. Very, very interesting card. It's some recursion that's not locked to green, which is cool, but I don't know if I'm ever really caring enough to play a 7 cost 7/6 that doesn't have an immediate board impact, even if I do get to play Republic cards for cheaper. I don't know. We may see something, but I just don't see it yet. ATTE Vanguard, 8 cost, 6/9 with Restore 3, and when defeated, create 2 Clone Trooper tokens. I think that's pretty cool. I don't think it's very good, but it's a bomb in limited, so that'll be cool. I wish that the ATTE was better because the ATTE is cool, but that's fine. Ahsoka's Padawan Lightsaber, 1 cost, +2/+0, attached to a non-vehicle unit. When played, if the attached unit is Ahsoka Tano, you may attack with the unit. I like that it's not limited to attacking with her. I think that is what makes this a stronger card. I think this will probably see play in Ahsoka decks or decks that run the Ahsoka unit consistently, just because it's so cheap and you're able to be so flexible with it. It's probably definitely an Ahsoka unit deck, Ahsoka leader deck for the Ahsoka unit leader, but I don't know if I see it otherwise. Heroes on both sides, some of the best art of the set. Like, I love the greenery and the way that they frame the characters. Pretty cool. But this is a Republic and Separatist event. You choose up to 1 Republic unit and 1 Separatist unit. You have each chosen unit +2/+2 and Saboteur for the phase. This is a really, really strong buff, and there are a lot more neutral Separatist units than you think. This also works if you created Battle Droid tokens. Like, honestly, I think this card is going to see some play. I could see this being in some sort of Republic aggro deck, because I think you're going to want more Republic decks than Republic units than Separatist units in heroism, just because you have some of the strongest Separatist units locked behind villainy. So I can totally see this actually ending up seeing some play, which is cool. This is a really, really awesome common, and I really, really like all of it. Sword and Shield Maneuver, on the other hand, is weird. I don't hate it, but it's weird. It's a Jedi Republic tactic card, and you give each friendly trooper unit Raid 1. You give each friendly Jedi unit Sentinel. You're blocking your troopers and letting your troopers hit harder. That's cool. I just don't know when I ever want to pay 2 for a big enough effect. Like, I don't know when this is actually worth it. You probably need to be protecting 2 troopers with 1 Jedi, which I think is kind of what they're going for with the whole coordinate thing, but this just isn't there for me. I don't think it'll see a ton of play. Drop in. This is your baseline. We needed to make clone trooper tokens, and paying 4 for it is probably not a bad thing. I probably wouldn't put this in most decks, but it'll end up in your limited decks for sure. Here we are in the neutral cards. 2 cost, Grievous Parliamentarian. This is a 2/2 Separatist official. When played, choose an opponent. They shuffle their discard pile and put it on the bottom of their deck. This is a recursion stopper before we have true big recursion. That's fine. This is good to stop cards. There's probably a way that you can make this work for yourself. I'm sure there's a way you can I don't know, maybe there's not a way that you can make this trigger for your own self. Yeah, I don't know. But a 2-cost 1/4 in space, the Headhunter Squadron, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Not great. Like, the only way this is any good is if you're playing a bunch of upgrades, but a lot of upgrades are non-vehicle, so who knows. 4-cost 2/4 Brain Invaders. This is an interesting card. I like it a lot. It removes all leader abilities except for epic actions, and they can't gain abilities. That's pretty cool. I think this is actually like a really weird counter to some of the like leaders that have really strong abilities and flip turns. Like, you're playing this on the turn that they flip and you're locking stuff out, or you're playing this on a turn where they want to use their ability so badly and locking them out. Anything where you get to say, no, I don't want you to do your strategy is probably worth looking at least once. So I think that that's where this ends up, which is cool. Holdout Blaster is a 1-cost upgrade that attaches to a non-vehicle unit. When played, you may have the attached unit deal 1 damage to a ground unit. Notice, you may have the attached unit deal 1 damage to a ground unit. This is pretty awesome because it lets you trigger Django. +1 attack isn't great, but this is a 1-cost exhaust when it comes to Django, which is pretty cool. Private Manufacturing, I think this is the last card we've got. This is a 2-cost supply event that lets you draw 2 cards, and if you control no token units, you put 2 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. This is a great, great card. You're going to have token units this set pretty often, and I think that's just really cool that this is going to be filter if you don't. It's going to be straight up awesome draw if you do. This makes me think that the way to make a pre-Vizsla deck work is probably putting tokens in there, but time will tell. So this card is awesome, and it's a pretty neat one to end on as we wrap up this set. So let me know which card you are most excited for down below in the comments, and I thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like, give the channel a subscribe. It helps out a ton, and I will catch you in the next one as we start diving deep into what these awesome builds could look like in set 3. I will catch y'all later. Bye.